All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Impressions. So the story that I want to relate to us tonight is about the CEO of the Greyhound bus company. Steve is his first name, and when he took the company to be the new CEO, the company was really in bad shape. I mean, the creditors were ready to shut the door. The capital investors were worried. And so Steve really needed a win. So Steve dug in there, and they began to look at things. And, of course, they discovered that a lot of the routes that they were running were not profitable, which was easy to assess and to figure out. And so his leadership team and people that were involved, they spent about 4 months really looking at it and said, okay, what can I do to really turn this thing around? And so after 4 months of looking at it, a lot of things were spread out on the desk, and Steve had a satellite image taken of the United States, all of North America, Canada, of course, so all of North America, and it was at night. And they had a kind of density level where they could see all the lights of the cities. And here's what he decided. He said, we're not going to have any buses where there are no lights. And that's exactly what they did. They began to cut those routes where there were no lights, and they began to regionalize some of the other routes. And all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but soon the company began to turn around. And when I read that, I was stirred. I thought, wow. Well, first, a couple things. Here's an obvious thing that you can apply in any situation, really. Sometimes we need a bigger perspective on things. We need to kind of pull back and take a look. But here's what really kind of got to me. I'm in ministry, and I believe in preaching the gospel and getting the kingdom message out there. And I thought, when we think about planting churches, we think about doing new ministries, we need to not go where the lights are. We need to go where the darkness is. I want to show you a little picture here of the United States and Canada. And it's not the same picture that Steve had, but it kind of shows the picture that I'm trying to grasp here and try to get my head around and how we can strategically think about this. Take a look. All right, I know what you thought. I live in the Bible Belt. So, there's lots of lights. When we think about planting churches, why do we want to plant where there's more and more and more churches? Isn't our mission really to go where there's darkness? Now, I know that sounds a little intimidating, like, really? You want me to go where there's darkness? That's exactly what Jesus did. That's what he wants us to do. I want to read this little scripture to you. It's from the Message, and it's out of Matthew chapter 5. Hang on. Let me read this to you. It said, here's another way to put it. You were here to be a light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I put you there on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. Be opening up to others. You'll be prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. Hey, how great is that, really? Extraordinary, right? So I just want to encourage us, and to be the light. And by the way, this verse was not written to preachers or evangelists or to those special people with a special gifting. It was written to everyone who calls himself a believer in Jesus Christ. God needs us. You are the light. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. But he says, I'm passing that light on to you, so you're a light too. And let that shine. So ask yourself the question, where is it a little dark? And where can I go? Maybe not to plant a church. Maybe not to do a ministry. But where can I go that's just a little dark, that if I show up and share what I know and who I know, it would begin to change the environment. And who knows, maybe that one is turned. And all of a sudden there's two lights. And then when we take a new satellite image, we see something completely different. When God looks at it, what does he see and what does he think? I wonder if it's something very similar. So I just want to encourage you this week. You make a difference everywhere you go. Look around. Don't be intimidated by darkness. But just know this, that as soon as you jump into the scene, all of a sudden the light's going to show up. Things can begin to change. And that's how we begin to change the world that we live in, one day at a time, one light at a time. And I hope you have a great week. See you next time. This is Jack Wolf with Impressions.